in the kitchen now with Julie Sizemore. She's one of our favorite guests. She's the owner of Creative Cake Supplies. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
We got our pink aprons on, and we're ready to do some fun stuff.
Yeah, it's a snow day. Why aren't we in our jammies and slippers?
At home, let me tell you.
I missed the memo.
I would be. Absolutely. Good excuse to stay home. But I was talking to you on the phone about snow days, and you know, you're a mom, and we've all been there before, and it's like, oh, first I get this panic. What am I going to do with the kids all day? And then you could kind of embrace it. Oh, this is going to be fun. You know what I mean?
Well, and now that I've seen the other side of it, where my kids are older and they're not home anymore, and we don't get snow days because they don't have snow days in college. And Florida has hurricane days, so that's not the same as a snow day.
Right, right.
And I really, I really miss that time. So, it is important to cherish those memories. And when I was growing up, like you were talking about with your grandmother, and I spent time with my mom and my great grandma and my grandma, and we did stuff all the time in the kitchen. And I know that that's why I'm so passionate about what I do, is because of them and the memories that are all involved in that. So
absolutely, everything I make there's some sort of connection. You know what I mean? I can trace it back. My grandmother made an awesome chicken cacciatore, and this chicken parmesan soup reminds me of that. It all kind of goes back. But when we were talking, and I mentioned earlier, snow days, you never know when you're going to get them. You might have a little bit of warning. And then sometimes they'll surprise us and sneak up on us, and we'll get more snow, and all of a sudden it'll turn into a snow day. But
you have Bob,
yeah.
So you probably never get a snow day because you have Bob.
He'll get me to here no matter what. Actually,
we should have had Bob get me last time.
I know he was going to. He was going to pick up. He's one of those guys. He'll get you wherever you need to go. Like, gee, thanks. I just want to stay home. But anyway, you might not be able to run to the grocery store. Is the big thing. So you need to be having a few things so you can have fun at home on a snow day.
Well, and there's a lot of staple products that us as moms typically have. We usually have a cake mix and a can of frosting, and we always typically have Rice Krispies, because Rice Krispie treats can be the quickest thing to throw together.
Yep.
All kids love them. Mm-hmm. I'm a big lover of popcorn, and most families will have popcorn handy. And one of my wonderful memories as a child was making popcorn balls. And that's the first thing we're going to do. And don't these look like big snowballs?
They're so cute.
Now, in our household growing up, you made your snowball as big as your hand.
Okay.
So that's why this is this big, because now as I'm older, my hands are much bigger. But kids' popcorn balls, or snowballs, what we'll call them for today, are going to be much smaller.
Sure.
So, and it's just a very wonderful memory. We would make them, and then we would hide them so we could make sure we got our portion.
Oh, yeah.
Because
back then you had to fight for that food.
Right,
yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
So, and you can do this recipe with microwave popcorn, but we're going to start it the old-fashioned way, and how we made it growing up was on the stove. And it's about a tablespoon of oil to about 3/4 of a cup of popcorn. Now, this is a 3-quart saucepan.
Okay.
So you just want to pretty much fill the bottom of the pan.
I have to tell you a funny story. We were up at our cottage, and we don't get many TV stations up there, so we rent a lot of movies. So we always have popcorn on hand, and of course, we didn't have popcorn on hand, the microwave popcorn. So I said, well, hey, no worries. There's this bag of other popcorn. My kids were like, what do you mean? How do you do that? Seriously. A lot of kids have no idea that popcorn is not always done in the microwave.
Sure.
And they got the biggest kick out of, really? That's how you do it? You really melt butter and put on top?
Well, and there's a whole memory attached to the sound of this, the smell of this, because it is very different than microwave popcorn. So if you don't have regular popcorn, though, it's going to take you probably close to a box to equal what we're going to get out of this pot.
Okay.
Because we're going to get about 12, 14, 16 cups, depending, we didn't measure.
Okay.
But, we filled the bottom of the pan.
Okay.
And now with cooktops, like my mom had the old-fashioned gas stove where you had the little grate. Some cooktops you have to be a lot more careful not to slide your pans because you could ruin your cooktop.
Right.
So, but as soon as it starts popping, then, it's just going to take a couple minutes. And when it starts to slow down, then you want to pull it off the burner and just let the last couple kernels pop on its own.
Now tell me what about the glue that's going to hold these snowballs or popcorn balls together.
All it is marshmallows and butter. So if you're used to making Rice Krispie treats, then it's the same 3 tablespoons to 40. We have 40 large here, or a 10-ounce bag of the minis.
Okay.
You could do it on the stovetop, but it'll just take us about a minute in the microwave.
Okay.
So we'll get that going.
And it's really, it can really stick to the pan on the stovetop. So my method of choice is the microwave.
Well, and what I did was I've got a piece of wax paper here, and I have it buttered.
Okay.
And then I also have a big mixing bowl, and I have that buttered. That'll just make cleanup a lot easier. And then I have my spatula buttered as well. And this is a high temperature, silicone spatula.
Okay.
And then you want to use butter on your hands as well. So
I'll wash mine quick. And then
I
I'll
have
butter them
mine
up.
clean and good and buttered now. And we're going to check on the marshmallows. You don't want to overcook the marshmallows because then they'll start to get a little tough on you.
My popcorn, look at that. The old-fashioned way, and it turned out perfect.
Now, what you can do before you put it in your pot is you can put it in a separate bowl.
Okay.
And then if you want to get the grannies or the unpopped kernels out of there.
Those are my favorites.
Because, when you're eating a popcorn ball, you don't want to be getting that in there. But you did an awesome job. There's like no kernels in here.
Hey.
Fresh popcorn and fresh marshmallows are definitely, work the best.
Okay.
So then all you do is you just stir your butter into your marshmallows. And again, this is 40 jumbo.
Okay.
The mini marshmallows melt a lot faster. But, with microwaves now compared to what they used to be, it melts real fast anyway. So you just mix it up until your marshmallows have incorporated with your butter.
Now, we were talking before you throw that in there. If you had a season, like if you were doing this in fall, you could color the marshmallow at this point?
Yep, and you would want to use more of a paste or gel food coloring versus the little liquids that you buy in the spice aisle in the grocery store, because there's a lot of water in that.
Okay.
So, but you can tint it pink for Valentine's Day, green for St. Patrick's Day.
Right, yellow for Easter, whatever.
Yep. Or just because you want to.
Yes.
So
crazy.
So then what you want to do is you'll pour your marshmallow over the popcorn.
Okay.
And this is where quality control comes in.
Butter my fingers here.
Whatever's stuck on your hand, then you get to eat that.
Yeah, especially on a snow day. Are you kidding me?
Now we're not going to go too far with that because we're going to use that same thing to make our Rice Krispie treats.
Okay.
And so you just mix this in. And this is where it's fun for the kids because you're letting them get dirty and you're letting them have fun.
I always say, to get your kids in the kitchen, start with treats. Start with help you make treats and then move on to other things. You know what I mean? Get them interested in measuring and, cracking eggs and all that kind of stuff. And now I can't get Ireland out of the kitchen, if you know what I'm talking about. She's always pulling up a stool.
That's wonderful.
It is wonderful. It's a little messy, and there are days when it's like, oh, goodness. But you know what? I can't wait for one day when she's going to be cooking my whole dinner, and it'll all be worth it for sure. So just make them like this?
Yep.
These are easy, and boy, when you butter your hands, that's the key.
Well, and it adds more flavor too then on the outside. So I have a lot of experience at this.
I can tell.
And you kind of want to mold them a little bit, but don't squish them too hard.
Okay, because then they'll be rock hard to bite into. Okay.
Now, if you want, at this point, this is where you can add a little bit of fun. Like this is edible glitter.
Okay, so when you've actually formed the ball, or now?
Nope. Once you've formed it, then you can go back
and really make it look like snow, huh?
And give it a little bit
ball.
of a glisten. This is a hologram silver.
I'll keep balling here. This is really fun and really easy.
Now, this isn't stuff that everybody's going to have in their cupboard, but it just, for presentation-wise and just for more fun, if it is something you have, that's just a little fun detail.
And
that
you sell
you can
all
give
sorts of these sprinkles and, all different kinds of things.
Oh, yeah. Because, the more tools, the more fun.
Could you throw, like, M&Ms in here and things like that?
You can. Well, that would be against our tradition, but you could do whatever you want.